I hit it this time rather than the other way around.
No, you got drunk, fell, and caught the edge of the door.
No, there was this like big thaw in Toronto, and I had a basement apartment, right? So there's these drains in the floor. They go out to the runoff, just like the ones that are right here, the storm drains, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay, so if your apartment floods,
Yeah.
it should go out there and out to the fucking Lake Ontario, right, down under the river. But instead, because there was this huge thaw, all the snow melted and flooded the fucking storm drains, and it came up the drain in my apartment. And so I'm there one night, and I'm sitting there with my roommate, and I heard the drain starting to gurgle. I thought it was the toilet. So I told Fayez, it's like, here's a couple bucks, go across the street and get a fucking plunger. We're gonna have to fucking get this shit before we're like mopping up the bathroom and toilet water. So he's running around getting his shoes on and shit, and by that time the water started coming up the drain. I'm like, forget the fucking plunger. We got bigger problems than this. Let's start getting everything up as high as we can, because this is the basement. Who knows how high this water's gonna go? Water came up almost to my knees. Just about the time the water was up to my knees, everything's up off the floor, and I've already kicked in the neighbor's door and saved all of his instruments and iPads and shit and put it all up on the bed. So the whole apartment building was flooded. So first I go and I tell the landlord who lives in the next building over, I'm like, all of our apartments are underwater. You gotta fix that shit. And get to work. And it was like a team of Chinese guys that all came down and fixed that shit like instantly. It was amazing. So I go across the street to my job and I'm like, yo, my apartment's underwater. You see this water line? That's my apartment right now. Okay? They're like, yeah, we know our basement's flooded too. I'm like, well, then you also know that I will not be coming to work tomorrow. I have bigger things to deal with right now. Thank you for your understanding. I leave. So I go back. By this time, the water's already been pumped out because they got this big electric pump. They were prepared, man. They came with that shit and just sucked it all out and blew it out into the parking lot. It was awesome. Meanwhile, like, the wooden floor that I had in my apartment is floating down the hallway, or had floated down the hallway, so there's just concrete in there and everything.
And this was in the winter time?
This was in the winter time too, so it was cold as shit. Oh. And so they're cleaning up and I'm getting all my stuff, and they're telling us that the empty apartment, go ahead and sleep in there tonight because the floor in there is okay. It was tile. So just move your stuff in there. We're going to dry out your apartment. It'll be ready in a day or two. And it was. But so by that time, the pizza place closes and all my coworkers come over with buckets and mops and they're all ready to help clean up my shit. It was fucking awesome, all these guys. I'm like, they got it, guys. At ease, soldiers. So instead we went around the corner to the bar and they all fucking bought me pitcher after pitcher. I almost had like 3 or 4 pitchers to the head. Just kept drinking all night. It's like my apartment flooded, fucking, it's traumatizing. You know, and so
that sucks.
I get wasted, right? And I guess at some point they pointed me in the direction of home and said good luck. And so I'm going back and I run into my other friend Sean and he's like, yo, I heard your apartment flooded. I got a bottle of whiskey up here and you should come drink, man. This is awful. I'm like, yeah, let's do this shit. So I get up there and he's got this friend of his that's visiting from America. I haven't seen a fucking American in years. So I'm like excited and wasted and drinking whiskey with this guy who's like half Chinese and half Irish. So he's just like a madman. And so we're drinking and the last thing Sean said, because I don't remember this shit. I remember waking up in the morning at a strange apartment and wondering what the fuck happened to me. But he says the last thing that happened was that I left with the American dude because he was looking for acid and I told him I could get it for him tonight. And he never came back. Yeah. Apparently I went and got the guy acid in the park. And then he was happy he went on this trip and I apparently went home. But so I get up in the morning, I'm in a strange apartment, I go down the hall because there's like a shared bathroom for all these apartments. My apartment had a private bathroom at the end, but the one that I'm in is sharing a bathroom. So I go down the hall and all these dudes that are working on the hall are working on the apartment cleaning it up. They look at me and they're just like, oh, start talking to each other in Chinese, right? And I'm just like, the fuck is going on? So I go to the bathroom and I take a piss and then I go and I'm like washing my hands and I look up in the mirror and I'm fucking covered in blood. like fucking, I don't know, like hairy, just like covered in blood,
Hairy.
like everywhere. And I noticed like these aren't the clothes I was wearing last night.
You was tripping too?
No. Worse, I was shit-faced drunk.
Oh.
And that's bad for me when I get like that because I'm just a madman. I'm like,
Oh no, he did something else entirely. Because remember,
Yeah.
he's wearing clothes in the morning.
changed into something else. So, apparently, I get home and I wake everyone in the building up, and they're all like trying to contain me, and I start throwing up all over the place. So they fucking strip me down in the kitchen and carry me to the shower, where I'm just like belligerent as shit, and apparently grabbing my shit and just shaking it all over the place and yelling at people about it. So that happened. And then they showered me down, put me in different clothes, and put me to bed. And at some point in the night, I got up to try to leave the apartment again, and made it as far as the kitchen and slipped, hit the fucking fridge, knocked myself out, and blacked out on the floor face down. So the guy at the end woke up and found me in a pool of blood, half naked in the kitchen, face down in like this big puddle of blood, and had to put me back to bed again. So... yeah,
Damn.
that was an insane night.
That whiskey.
Yeah, plus like 4 pitchers of beer.
Whiskey, man.
I can drink it, but the thing is then like I need 10 people to restrain
around you.
Because on Jackie's birthday, I got shit-faced too, and apparently I was trying to drag everyone out to go camping in the woods behind the bar spontaneously, and then tried climbing into a stranger's car and then begging them to let me sit on the roof of the car on the way home. So
Just let me sit on the roof while you drive.
I wanted to car surf, man. It happens. If there's a car involved when I'm that drunk, I will try to car surf. Apparently, Patrick had to sit in the back seat and hold me down because on Del Mabry, I kept trying to climb out the window to get onto the roof, despite them telling me not to do it.
Well, which way were you trying to car surf? You
I
trying
was
to?
in the back seat, passenger side.
No,
trying
I'm
to
saying-
climb out the window and get up onto the roof.
Oh,
Patrick
okay.
kept having to pull me back into the car the whole way home. So
I was about to say the two other ways. The way we used to do it on the 240 with
I woke
Benny.
up on the side of Armenia that night actually with Christopher. Like apparently he had enough and just let me go to bed in a ditch on the side of Armenia for like 30 minutes. And so I woke up and I'm just like in nature, and Christopher's standing over me like a giant, just disapproving as fuck, just like I hate you tonight.